It was an incredible weekend and our first Victory Monday of the season, guys.
Yes,
we got a jam-packed show.
Yeah.
Not just the Browns. We will get to plenty of Guardian stuff as well. But we're going to start with our shotgun reactions after a word from FanDuel. Guys, the NFL season is here. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Shotgun reactions starting with Bull. How about this weekend?
It's unbelievable. I was just saying before the show, you look at the Browns season so far, first 3 games, you had 2 of the all-time worst offensive performances by the Bengals in week 1, by the Browns in week 3. And both those teams won. How did that happen? I texted these guys all at 10-0. I said, the game's over. The Browns cannot move the ball. In fact, the 38-yard run by Quinshon Judkins on the second play of the second-to-last drive, where the Browns finally ended up getting on the board with a field goal, he had a 38-yard run on that second play. That one play was longer than any Browns drive to that point. Their longest drive had been 37 yards to that point, and that ended with an interception. They were completely inept on offense, but the defense was off the chain. I don't know if kids are saying that anymore, but I'm bringing it back because the Browns defense was absolutely phenomenal across the board. Schlesinger, Graham, the rookies contributing big time. And what happened, Myles Garrett took up the cover. They were triple teaming him, and guys made plays, something we haven't seen in past years. The offense is absolute trash outside of Quinshon Judkins, but the defense, and let's give credit to the special teams, were phenomenal. Plus, the Guardians lost yesterday, but they're very much in the hunt, still alive for the playoffs. I'm shotgun reacting to that too. They might win this division. In fact, I'm completely jumping on the bandwagon after being off the bandwagon for 3 months. And they're going to win the division. They're going to take 2 out of 3 for the Tigers. They're going to be tied. They'll have the tiebreaker, and they'll end up winning the division. Unbelievable. I'm watching at a bar mitzvah party on Saturday. I'm watching the Guardians on my phone. Let's go. Jason.
Andre Szmyt and I are prepared to accept all of your apologies.
I said keep them too.
All of your. No, you did
No,
not.
you didn't.
You did not.
No, you didn't. You said you would cut him immediately.
All of you
Wind it
said
back.
cut him.
Yeah.
All of find the
Wind it back.
Go find it.
1,000% said cut
Wind
him.
it back.
I want that clip by 1
We're
p.m.
going to find it.
Yep.
Wind it back.
I was the only one who said keep
I
him.
might actually be able to find it.
I specifically said on my
Remember
podcast
I
yesterday.
said the heart and the head?
Yeah.
And the heart said cut them,
Hey,
but the head said keep them.
This is crazy.
I said on my podcast yesterday that Jason's going to be so annoying with this Andre Szmyt
No, I'm
thing.
really not. I'm really not.
And Jedrick Will says hi.
I will say this. I wanted to be a fly on the wall at your house and in the press box. When he was coming out to kick the long field goal, you're all in on him making it.
Yeah.
You're all in on him missing it.
I wanted him to make it because I wanted the Browns to win, but I actually, when he kicked the extra point to tie the game, I was more nervous for that.
I was holding my breath.
I was more nervous for that. I'm like, he's going to miss this extra point.
And you know, they said, I think right before the kick, they go, they're an extra point away from tying it.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
I specifically referenced that on my podcast. I said, "Oh no, why'd they say that?"
Yeah.
But yes, I actually felt like he might make it once he made that extra point. But go ahead.
The extra point, I was sweating. I was in the press box, told the person next to me, like, oh my God, he better make
55-yarder, I thought, oh, he's got this. Of course he's going to make it.
I mean, Andre Schmidt's got a great story. I mean, great isn't great for a storyteller to tell.
Oh, the ups and downs.
Yeah, heartbreaking summer for him. Lost his mom to a brain aneurysm. I think that's come out. I think we kind of knew that before, but it really came out over the weekend and yesterday. Yeah. Just a great story. Now, I mean, listen, you're only as good as your last kick. He's got to keep going now, but certainly a huge confidence booster for him. Just a goofy game. I was talking to Tyvis at halftime. I think my favorite part of game day is actually halftime with Tyvis because he goes through every stage of grief in those 7 minutes
already.
That we're talking.
Even though the game's not over.
And he's told me a couple times, like, they ain't going to get to 8 wins, are they, Jay? I'm like, no, Ty. We tried telling you they're not going to get to 8 wins. But just talking to him yesterday in the press box, and I said, this defense is going to win this team games. It's not going to be today, but this defense is going to win this team games. And by God, it did turn out to be yesterday. Grant Delpit with a great play. When Tyvis is in, I want him to break down that play that Delpit
awesome.
made. Because even Matt LaFleur referenced it. It was a great look where they disguised the coverage. Jordan Love threw it right to him. It changed the entire game. Obviously, the block kick was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, to go 50.
What was Love think? I mean, I know he didn't see him.
He just didn't see him. That's
but
it.
my God, live to see another day. Throw it away and punt.
There's no way the Browns win that game without that interception.
The Packers?
No, absolutely not.
The Packers said, I think it was LaFleur, said yesterday after the game, we knew we couldn't just make the one big mistake, and that's exactly what we did.
It was stunning.
Yeah, they had it
Mm.
wrapped. But, I mean, good on them, good on the Browns. It was a great win for them at a time they really, really, really needed it because today was going to be ugly otherwise. But good on them. Just unbelievable to look as bad as they looked for 56 minutes and to win that game against a team that could go to the Super Bowl. It felt a lot like the 49ers a couple years ago winning with P.J. Walker when the Niners came in here and missed a kick at the end for the Browns to win. Yesterday had a very similar feeling. Being in the press box had a very similar feeling to that Niners game.
We get one of these a year, and we get this thing where we are reminded just how great Myles Garrett is, right? And I'm going to not just give him credit. I'm going to give him credit for instilling a level of we don't care what nothing happens on this side of the football. When they getting guys together on that sideline, watch them get guys together on that sideline. I've been in places where you're hamstrung a little bit. You know your hands is tied behind your back. And guess what? You go to your people and you say, listen, we're going to stick together. We're going to hang together. We're going to make plays. Even if they can't score no points, we'll score the points. Let us do it. And the crazy part about it is, Bull is right. He was getting triple teamed. But for the first time in my life, I actually feel like he had 3 or 4 other people with him that said, oh, no, take it all, load off, big dog. We got you, too. Man, I'm beyond. Listen, Carson Schlesinger, Carson Matthews, that's what I'm going to call you. Carson Matthews is out here moving around, bro. 10, 12 tackles again, another sack, tackles for loss. And by the way, who would have known that the Browns, even a couple of years ago, they would get gashed on little runs. And you know what I noticed in this game? When Matt LaFleur thought he was slick. Remember when they had an opportunity, they tried to run the clock out, and they needed to run the football. You know what he pulled out? He pulled out the 2023 package that really gashed the Browns each and every time. Those jet motions, those jet sweeps, they brought 2 of them in a row. He said, I'm keeping this in my back pocket because I know that they struggled in this. And guess what? Greg Newsome comes up and makes a play. They string it to the sideline. Guys are running around. Malik Collins, man, bro, tell me why you want to be first team All AFC North last week. I know that's a made-up award, but you in the backfield. You in the back. Get your name in the paper, dog. Mason Graham was in the backfield just running around. He's starting to figure it out. It
took him half.
It took him one drive of his NFL career to figure it out.
Yeah,
it's different levels because now he's starting to figure out, hey, we don't move side to side here. We move straight forward. He said, that's all I got to do. All I got to do is run straight. Oh, I could do that. Beat the guard. That was beautiful. Grant Delpit backed it up, all his talk. He not only said it's easy to tackle Derrick Henry. Guess what? He said it was easy to tackle Josh Jacobs. I thought Jacobs was going to come out here and go crazy. None of the above. And let's talk about this. We forget, it was so many big plays that were made. Denzel Ward put the cape on.
Yeah.
What a layout to block a kick.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, that's Shelby.
They gave it to Shelby, but Ward missed it. Barely, and they gave it to Shelby, but I'm not sure that Ward didn't deflect it.
When you land, that's a starter.
Oh, he was
he's a starter on special teams. They go out, they get the block punt. Think about what they had to have happen. They not only had to have the interception, but Grant Delpit needed to get up and get it close as possible because we couldn't get no yards.
Nothing.
They blocked the kick, and then Flacco, it's a day for talking about that, but he did complete the 7-yard pass to David Njoku. And I was my throat was just, I was dry. I couldn't breathe. I thought that they was gonna throw that ball short of sticks and they was gonna tackle him, and they got to spike the ball with 2 seconds left.
And what's funny is on the broadcast they were like, well, 12 seconds. I don't know if you weren't watching the broadcast.
I was.
They were like, Well, the 12 seconds is not enough time to throw it in the middle of the field,
and
they were very quick at getting up.
It's clear that they've practiced that.
Yes, that was well done.
But one thing that was, I was going to say this for later. Do you guys remember the Cowboys? Niners game a couple years ago in the playoffs where Dak scrambles, slides, hands it to the center, they spot the ball, and the umpire has to touch the ball. And the umpire moved the ball
and that slowed
a yard,
down.
and it cost them the game. Yesterday, if you look, I'm actually surprised the umpire let this go. So Njoku completes the pass, and he hands it to Pochik, and I don't understand why you don't give it to the umpire, but he hands it to the center, Pochik puts the ball down. Go back and watch it. The umpire sprints up and just touches the ball.
He has to.
I know. As he's moving.
But he didn't move it.
No, I mean, the umpire on the run touched the ball.
Yes.
The umpire didn't even stop.
But he basically allowed the Browns to mark the ball.
That was
the spot.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
It's outside of protocol, but I'm wondering in that situation because it was so close and
he just ran up, touched the ball, okay, go. Whereas you go back to the Cowboys game, the umpire moved the ball back a yard. The umpire came from like 20 yards back and moved the ball back. Had they done that yesterday, they probably don't get the snap off.
And by the way, these umpires and line judges and everything, they're not quick like NFL players are quick. No. And they get there on their time. And if they happen to get there when the clock hits 0, we're sorry, but it didn't work.
And if the game goes to overtime, again, there's decent. The Browns couldn't move the ball really, so there was a decent chance they would have lost in overtime. But
I was surprised.
Amazing.
I was surprised that the umpire did not respot the ball at all.
Well,
all he did was run up and touch it, which allowed them to get that.
I'll take it.
By the way, maybe there was just an angle he saw, but Stefanski was going nuts on that play he thought was a fumble. There was no angle that showed the Browns definitely had the ball.
I think he just wanted to take a chance on it.
No, but he was so adamant about it. I was like, did he see something we didn't? Because it was clear you couldn't tell who had the ball, clearly.
This is also, and I'll finish with this. Just, I love the fact that the Browns didn't be the Browns. In that case, we was doing the post-game show, and he punches the ball out, right?
Yeah.
And so, as a defense, you thinking that's the only way we got a chance to actually do something. And it wasn't deflating. They came back the very next play, sold out, and got what they needed to get. So, hey, give them credit, man. Them dudes, it's hard as heck to win football games. They didn't give up. They had everything. They needed everything to go right. It did. And you get a win 13-10 against the team any given Sunday, Jay.
Yeah,
and it reminds me of the 49ers game of a couple years prior to that.
So I know you guys both mentioned the 49ers game. For me, there's a lot of synergy in this with the Jets and the old Browns and the Dawg Pound. Yesterday they had the 40th celebration of the Dawg Pound, and a lot of the old ghosts were in the stadium.
85 team.
And to me, you say we get one of these every year. I don't remember feeling like this. I'll tell you exactly what it goes back to. The 1986 season, the Browns were down 10 points with 3.5 minutes to go. Same scenario. It was 20-10. They hadn't moved the ball. They scored 10 points in 3.5 minutes to get it to overtime. And they kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime to get the Broncos the next week, which they lost, of course, in the drive. But I haven't felt like that as a Browns fan since that Sunday. That's how long it's been for me, because this was a clear defeat. They snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat. They did it with a 1-yard touchdown drive and an 11-yard field goal drive. We talked in the opener about how Baltimore had so few points with so few, or so many points with so few yards. No, that was the Bengals game, I think. Then the Ravens did the same thing. The Ravens scored 41 points on 240 yards. They did nothing all day. The Browns' offense was an F yesterday. I think
outside of Judkins, yes.
Judkins was the bright spot.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm giving a team grade for
F,
the offense,
100%.
it's an F.
Yeah.
The offensive line, I don't even know where to begin. I don't. There's too many problems to even dive in on just one position. It's the whole line. We got veterans making really dumb mistakes. You've got guys that are switching all over the place, and I get the injuries and all of that. But from a pure offensive standpoint, I can't give this team anything other than an F. Judkins gets the asterisk. Judkins is amazing to me. They had a 1-yard touchdown drive and an 11-yard field goal drive. Those drives, guys, combined for 28 seconds
Man,
of clock.
That's crazy. That's
They scored
crazy.
10 points with 28 seconds of offensive clock in the last 3.5 minutes of the game. I also, it was so bizarre because the Jets, again, come up to me. This game felt like what the Jets must have felt like when Joe Flacco led them to victory at Cleveland Stadium
Right.
3 years ago. I believe it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I thought about that.
That game, to me, was the most deflating,
Yeah.
gut punch. What in the actual F did I just see? Because there's a string of things that have to happen, and they all have to happen perfectly. And you hate to point out Nick Chubb taking a knee, but that's what started all of it. Or not taking a knee, rather. He went in and scored the touchdown. They get the ball back. They get the ball back. They win. At that point, if you make a list of what has to happen, you're like, okay, the odds of that happening are 9%. The odds of this happening are 1%. The odds of this happening are, to me, the interception was the onside kick in the Jets game. You're not going to get that interception because nobody's going to throw an interception in that spot.
Until that interception, was there ever a moment?
No.
You thought the Browns were going to win?
Never.
Never.
It was a defeat from jump.
Yeah.
And now, if the offense was an F, and they were, the defense was an A. The defense, think what the defense has done, guys. They slowed Joe Burrow. They slowed Lamar Jackson. They slowed Jordan Love, who right now, I was stunned by this. They put the numbers up to compare his first whatever games to Aaron Rodgers. I think it was 30 games or whatever.
Yep.
The numbers were almost identical. This guy has really come into his own. Through 2 weeks, to me, they look like a Super Bowl contending team. They looked unstoppable on defense, and their offense looked very, very efficient. Mm-hmm. And so it was like the Jets game a couple of years ago when you said, oh, this one's in the bag because this has to happen. If you add up the odds of all of those things happening, it's 0.0005%. This. And somehow the Browns didn't brown.
They didn't.
They flipped the page. They turned the script. And that, guys, is how you change the culture. Win games that you should lose and hold on to games that you should win. So it's all precipitated by a defense that, guys, I know this is going to sound hyperbolic. To me, this is a top 5 defense, and this might be a top 3 defense. It could possibly end up the season if everybody stays healthy and the offense keeps them in games, because that's I think is a big part of this. This is as good a Browns defense as I can remember seeing, and it's 3 games. I know it's early, but when you look at what the back end is doing, what the linebacking core with Schlesinger in there now, it's a total different ball game. And up front, I said this earlier in the season, as it was one of my bold takes coming into the season. It's going to be the best defensive line we've seen with Myles Garrett. And I think so far, through 3 games, it has been across the board the best defensive line that we've seen. It's stunning, to be honest with you.